lift our knees and thread it just in front of the sitting bones, so the top of the legs. You can make it bigger, smaller, but this is providing a little bit of a roost or a pad for the hamstrings. And then, as usual, go back and forth, holding the knees, flexion and extension. And just fill the sails. Inhale, spread the collarbones. Exhale, release the whole breath. Let's do this with a little bit of pranayama, or inhale through the nose here. Maybe a slight hold of the breath. Exhale, expunge. Toning the core, pelvic floor. Go mild. Inhale, the main soul of the body, but also the back ribs. I'm going to take my hands back here, lift, and then exhale. Shake it out. Keep going at your own pace, so follow me. Inhale. Exhale. A couple more times. Now, if you're a beginner, you're mostly in these physical actions of the body. If you're a little further along, you're closing your eyes and you're sensing, the friction in the nasal passages is releasing the center of my brain, the back of my palate. Exhale. I'm releasing the nervous system and the body from too much direction, too much volition. There's multi-levels here. And the speed at which you play is usually a determinant of where you're at. If you're bouncing quickly, like, whoa, let's go, then you're in the state of rajas, kingliness, queenliness, and you need to move fast. Kids are that way, usually. There's nothing wrong with it. If you're really slow and sleepy, then that's tamasic. A lot of potential energy, but there's not a lot cooking. And then we try to arrive at sattva, the middle ground, as you take a little twist to the left, hook the right hand on the left knee, lift the chest, and exhale. Drop the gaze down to that left hip. Anchor the sit bone. And then find the middle ground between the inhale pattern, the chest lifting, and the exhale. More of a toning than leaning. Toning and pressing down into the sit bones and making sure the left sit bone is equally anchored. So breathe into the inhale and the exhale. And then keep your twist, but take your back arm up, the left arm, and then start to lean over to the right. So I want to explore a little bit as we take a lateral lean in a yin yoga way. We're somewhat tethered in that right arm. And a certain amount of yoga is hanging in the body or hanging out. But that can be, too much of that can be taxing on the body. So we're going to explore how to mitigate that. Let's come across with that left arm, pick up the right arm, take a yoga pose, or cross the hands and the shoulders. Inhale, lift, rolling the hips forward. You may feel the towel roll on the undersides of the legs. We came in earlier, we got the towel roll. And just touching the backs of the legs as you lift the elbows, inhale and exhale. Release. Try the other side. Rotating right. Lift the chest. Inhale. Spread the collarbones. Inhale pattern. Then exhale. Tone the core and the sit bones, if you look down at your right sit bone to the floor. So drop anchor. Now breathe into the two patterns. Maybe closing your eyes and just feeling, okay, well, the inhale allows me to do this. to lift and spread the shoulders. The exhale allows me to tone the core. And try to be moderate in your forcing the breath. Keep our twist. Reach up, right arm, and start to lean without trying to collapse. So surely we're going to be working with the lateral contraction of the lateral, the downside ribs. Right now we have a passive yoga pose we breathe into. Again, that allows you to feel a stretch. But yoga is not exactly, we're simply stretching. Inhale, reach up high, and then cross diagonally over right arm, left arm comes up. Parighasana, eagle. And then move up with the elbows. Inhale, back, and down. Let the hips come into play. And the head. Release that. Now let's try that lateral motion that I talked about, and then we'll get onto our backs, which I know a lot of people crave in the morning. So if we just take the left fingers or hand out to the floor, and we start to take that lean over and use the lower hand to mitigate how far we go. So that would be one way to take the motion for stretching that right side. It's fun for flexible people. And let's go to the other side. But it's somewhat, as you get older, not that anyone coming to class is old. I myself am only 29, más o menos. But if one were old, or hanging on the joints like this is a mixed bag. So what if we were to just think like a fish for a second, hands on knees, and inhale, contract the left ribs, swim over to here, down in the arms. Exhale, sprawling, come back to center. Inhale, we start to contract. Think how a fish swims. Now you're learning how to contract the ribs on the side to move. You could take your arms out like, I don't know, these little puppets from Switzerland, I remember. I think you're trying to tap the elbow down. But this is a muscular action. Or maybe nod the head forward, take the arms back, across the head. Inhale, swim over to the side, exhale. So this can lead to all sorts of fun. And as we open the legs for a second and take the feet forward, if we were to drop the knees over to the right and then start to throw the discus to the left arm, like that, and try it a few times. Inhale, and see if you can contract the right ribs. Now we can take this into a circular motion. Drop and swing the arm, contracting the right ribs. And then exhale back to center. So we're going to be doing this on our backs in a second, which is why I'm previewing it. But can you feel those right ribs contract? And let's just go over, as we move into gentle morning bodies, the knees ski over to the left hand plants. Now it's the left lean, which would be a straight lean if we were doing boring yoga, but we're not, we're going to spiral it. Inhale, contract the left ribs, bring the arm over. So I'm contracting under here, inhale, and I invite that right arm over. And then let's just circle it. Pull in, and out. Play with that a little bit, then we're going to go down. But of course, this can go anywhere. So this is going to play out in many yoga poses. If I'm contracting, I'm not suggesting you do this, but I contract the right ribs here, I could just come up with the hips. play a little more in that one action, contract the left ribs, and it helps to lift the whole hip up. And I'm almost doing warrior two and dance together. So, so that's a little bit where we're going. But first, let's go back to sitting on our towels with the legs straightened. And let's do a little test of the side ribs. And pull the toes up, bend the knees, press down on the towel, and exhale, lean forward. And then watch, if I were to contract these undersides of the legs, push down on my towel, and just lift my butt up and over. Aha. And now I'm on the other side of the rainbow. Lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, reverse table. Just come up a little, and then come down. Okay? So can you do that again? Lift up. This time, straighten the legs and take yourself to the back of the towel with. It's too hard, you can just stay with the preliminary movement. And here we go. Bend the knees, lean forward, exhale. Now you're gonna pull like you're pulling your heels toward you. Just come over the towel, place the feet down, inhale, lift the chest, exhale, lift the hips, reverse table. So if you get good, you can just swing right back through over the towel. If it's too much on your shoulders, inhale, exhale, lean, contract under here, pull with the heels. Inhale, float the chest, exhale, tone the pelvic floor lift. So working the side ribs, and we can take a forward fold intermission. Just do it a few more times before we work the area of the mid-back. So again, the action is not just the arm strength, those of you who may be feeling, wait, too much arms right away, but the scraping of the hammies. As I exhale, lean forward. As I inhale, I'm going to pull the heels, pull my butt over the towel, set the feet down, let the chest open. Inhale, exhale, pelvic floor lift. Swing through one more time. Maybe a little forward fold intermission. Inhale, exhale, lean forward, put the hands on the towel. Swing through the gate, over the rainbow. Open the chest. Inhale, exhale, come up. Okay. So now we're going to lay on our towel, which is what everybody wanted to do in the first place. And take it to just under the shoulder blades. Take the head down and take the arms out to the sides or goalpost. Just straighten the legs for a second. Point and flex the toes. And then bend the knees again. Take the feet under the knees. Inhale. As you exhale, glide the knees to the left. Inhale to center, glide the knees to the right. You can look in the opposite direction. So we've done this pattern many times, and so we're kind of ironing out the mid-back. But as I mentioned, and as we did earlier, a lateral motion or lateral spiral can also be done on the inhale. So the next time you inhale, see if you can contract the left rib cage. Look left as you let the knees go to the right. So I'm contracting a little, tightening a little here. And then come through center, go the other way. So can we do what we did on in our seated form when we did the throwing the discus move? The next time your knees go left, maybe take a peek at the monitor. I start to press the right foot into the ground, which we've also done, and push the right knee on the diagonal to the left, like the mat. And then start to roll, like we're rolling all the way over to the left and reach that right arm up on the discus throwing diagonal. And then circle it overhead like you're playing air guitar, roll onto your back, and look at the hands. Lay on the ground to the right arm. Inhale, pick the arm off the ground, look left, right arm up to sky, roll left, big circle with the arm, and then spill over. So start playing the air guitar, and you've got the psoas involved, the inner right leg, and you've got the contraction on the left ribs. The inhale pattern pulls you over, and let the head roll. Good. Let's try the other side, and drop the knees over to the right. Start to plant that left foot and push the left knee away from you on the diagonal until that left hip rises. Reach up to the sky as you inhale with the left arm and start to contract the right rib cage to pull the body like rolling right, and reaching like you're going to shake someone's hand over to the left, but then flop onto your back and release the left arm onto the left and gaze to the left. So you can take a peek. I'm trying to verbally cue something fairly complex, but once you get it, should feel good, simple. And now I'm working the contraction on inhale, the right ribs, and the lengthening of the psoas. So multi movement. It just integrates the body in a safer way than something untethered. Come back to center and straighten the legs for a second. And just as we did on our backs, let's take the hands behind the head and inhale. Start to pull into the left ribs and just slide and lift the head an inch so you can slide the head over to the left like a fish, tracking left ribs. And then pick the head up and move it back to center. Inhale, lift the head a little bit, like an inch, and pull into the right ribs and see if you can swim or just side bend into the right. Okay? We can do this with the knees bent too, so let's try it. Take an inhale and lift the head a little, exhale. And then inhale again, slide the lifted head over to the left by contracting the left ribs. Set the head down. Come back to center. Inhale and exhale, lift the head a little. Inhale again, pull on the right ribs and just moving like a fish. To start to play, you could go fast or slow, but how a fish swims or moving its front of its body. As you go left, you could drop the knees a little bit to the right. Inhale, hold the head by contracting right ribs, and the knees to go left. Okay. Come back to center, take bridge pose, arms by the sides, and inhale, float the shoulders back, exhale, lift the hips up, feet are parallel. You can use your hands now, grab the towel roll, set it under your sacrum, sliding it under your low back, and then hug your knees. And then let's grab the left leg, only extend the right leg forward and pitch the hips away from you. Let the knee move away as you hold it, left knee, to anchor that right heel on the ground, and then inhale, start to glide the left knee toward you and away. Inhale toward, exhale away. Little circles, as we've done in the past. If it's too much to keep that right leg extended, you can have it bent, the right foot planted. Pull both knees in, let's switch to the right side, extending the left leg. Inhale, upswing, glide the right knee toward the right shoulder, exhale, move it away. Little circles, either direction. Let's pull both knees in again, get a squeeze. And then let's take a Baddha Konasana formation with the knees out, soles of the feet together. You can use a strap if you need to. Push around for it or just hold the tops of the feet, the outer edges, and just glide the feet on inhale toward you and exhale away. So just limbering up a little more in the core and the low back. And then either with your strap or just grabbing your big toes, you can straddle out with the legs and make sure the sacrum is touching the towel. We'll come back to center, drop the legs down, and take a figure four. So crossing the right ankle over the left, and then pull the package toward you, threading your hands around that left shin. You can glide it toward you, glide it away. Switch. Left ankle across right knee. Inhale, pull. Exhale, release. And releasing that. And let's go ahead and take another bridge pose before we do extended leg. Arms by the sides. Inhale, glide the shoulders back with the chest. Exhale, hips lift. Toning down the floor. And take the towel away and lay on your backs. Extend your legs forward. And take a few breaths while I grab my water. Make sure you have your strap handy. And let's go ahead without the towel roll now. Take the right foot into the strap. Basic stuff we always do on a Monday, and kick it, the right leg into the strap. Kick that leg up to the sky. And if it's too much in your low back, to extend the left leg, and keep it bent. Inhale, pull the right knee toward the right shoulder. Exhale, straighten the right leg. So pulling the elbows out and then kicking. One more. And straighten that right leg. Push into the strap. Take both ends of the strap into the right hand. Inhale. And exhale, take the leg out to the floor to the right. Pushing into the strap the whole way. And keeping the sacrum, the low back, toned as if still on the towel. Inhale to center, switch hands. Left hand grabs the strap ends, and now as you draw the leg, right leg over to the left, keep a little bit of a tone in the left ribs, knowing that we're working with this contraction apparatus of the lateral body, and exhale back to center. Let's try that again. So as we go over, normally we exhale, just drop the leg and hope for the best. But if we inhale, contract a little bit into the transverse abdominals, So tone your core, tone the left side ribs, and draw the leg over. Exhale to center. Switch legs, either by taking the right foot out, or you can, both feet go into the strap and point up to the sky. The leg straight, and then the right leg kicks out along the floor. And you can keep the right knee bent or straightened as you push and pull with the left leg down. And notice how we're inhaling into the bent knee, exhaling, extending. So on those deeper levels that I talked about before, the students that have done yoga a while realize, oh, well, he's toning the psoas and the left oblique a little bit. You don't have to know that, but it's interesting. And then straighten the left leg. Now I'm toned in this left side as I inhale, take the leg over to the side, instead of just dropping it like a sack of potatoes and hoping for the best. So once again, the standard pattern would be to drop on the exhale, but you could inhale, actively open the leg, and keep a little tone in that left belly. We do the other side with the same leg, left leg up to sky, right hand takes strap. This general pattern would be inhale, push into the leg, exhale, release, and take a very yin yoga or passive stretch in the outer bag of the left leg. But that could work, or it could just leave you feeling strained and jangly. So if you inhale, engage a little bit, drawing the pot of the belly in, and draw the left leg over to the right with a little tone in the core that we worked on I believe it was last Friday. Exhale to center. Try it again. Inhale. Draw the pot of the belly and the transverse abdominals. Draw the right side ribs a little tighter. And draw the leg over. Something to play with, something to think about. And then let's take both feet to the strap. Press the legs into the strap. Bend the knees, and let's take the strap over the shins now. You can take a peek as I float my shins parallel. And take the strap over the shins, set the feet down for a variation of bridge, where I hold the strap ends, place my arms, or at least my upper arms on the ground, roll the inner wrist to the sky, the shoulders back, and exhale. Push my shins forward in the strap, lift the hips. And then come down, take the strap away, straighten your legs, and once again, take your hands behind your head. Inhale, press the elbows back into the ground, the back of the head into the ground. Exhale, tone the legs and lift the head up a little like you're trying to peek at your feet. Inhale back and exhale, tone. Now let's pull the knees in, give them a squeeze, and do this core work a little bit more vigorously by having the shins once again hovering, hands behind the head. And as you inhale, glide the legs forward, hovering, and exhale, pull them back, and take the head up. Take the head down, inhale, glide the legs forward. They don't have to straighten all the way. Exhale, rein them back in, lift the head, peek at the knees. Do this a few times, and you can coordinate it. If you want, on the exhale, as the head comes up, you can straighten the legs, hug the other thighs. Let's sit the legs down. And drop the knees over to the left again. And inhale the center, drop right. Revisiting the spiral and the contraction now that we worked on earlier. Inhale, pull over to the left. Exhale the center. Inhale, pull over to right. Now take a peek. One more floor thing. So inhale, pull over to the left with the knees, contracting left ribs. Reach up to sky as we did before with the right arm. Grab the right wrist, pull it over. And then go ahead and slide the right knee on top of the left. And take your arms into a Russian dancer formation. Now watch. Inhale, drop the head, push the right elbow down toward the floor. Exhale, roll to the back of the skull. And just roll. Final opening, the knees are stacked. I open the twist. So I open my right arm out to the right. My left fingers, I can grab the knee crease of that upper leg. Left fingers grab the knee crease, the big tendon of the right leg. And I have a twist. But I'm still held in the twist by this contraction in the lower ribs. Slight contraction. Let's go to center. Shift the hips into good position. Feet widen. Inhale over to the right. Left arm up to sky. To bring that left arm over to the right, grab the wrist of the right hand, pull the shoulder blade, get a little stretch. Then glide the left knee on top of the right, so you bend knees. You're rolling to the right side bottom. And then take your arms together like Russian dancer and start to roll the head down. Exhale, and then back under the back of the head. Inhale. Gliding the left elbow toward the ground. And opening the neck, the shoulder, and then you get the picture. We open the entire twist, keeping the legs set, stacked. Left knee over right, and the left arm just lays out like you're reaching for something. But those right ribs have been toned from the get-go and planting you into the ground as you hook your right fingers on the. So keep that in mind as we come to center, hug the knees and start to rock and roll forward to Navasana. Take a few rolls, holding these outer knee creases, and the transverse abdominals are in play. You can take this wherever you want, a little bandha test. And then let's cross and come back to hands and knees. Take the knees wide and sink down to your child's pose. Imagine that in your child's pose that your back is still laying on the ground and the sensation of pressure on the back. So if you come up to parighasana, the notion is, and if you have somebody in your house who could do this for you if you're low back sufferer. I had this towel roll on my low back and I just took my hands, you could probably do this, some of you, and just pushing down, scraping down. Okay, we've satisfied that low back, and then we'll just do a little kind of Monday morning wade into it practice. Given the big class, let's pat our knees a little by doubling up the front edge of the mat. Take our towel rolls forward, glide forward, inhale, exhale, come back. We'll do the diagonals. come up to hands and knees on that towel roll. Place your left hand in front of the towel roll and your right hand is down on the towel roll itself. And then can you take your, I don't know if you can see this, I'm going to take my right palm toward me and just gentle pressure on the back of that wrist. It's going to get exciting very soon. So what if we start to inhale, slide that, threading the needle, slide that towel roll over under left armpit. Exhale, come back. Inhale, slide. I'm going to drop our head all the way down. And come back. Toning. So we're contracting, as before, the right rib cage. So not just dropping into a twist, we're activating it. So can we switch right palm down, front of the towel roll? You're hopefully on a wooden floor. If you're not, if you're on a carpet, you can just omit the towel. So the back of the left wrist is pushing, getting a nice stretch here on the, because I've got issues. And inhale, glide the towel into the right armpit, exhale, push back. We're also building some strength in the shoulders. Doing this a little more actively. We feel those left ribs contract. So whether you get down or not, it's not relevant. And then let's come back and unfurl our towels. Cat and cow. Inhale, exhale. Any organic movements now. And first downward dog, lifting the hips, stretching the fingers, spread the shoulder blades, pedal out the feet. And the head is dropped at first, and then the back of the head just gently tones to bisect the arms. Inhale forward to plank, sink down, drop back with the toes under, like you're doing a child's pose, the toes tucked under. Inhale, scoop the belly, downward dog. And you can pedal feet. Inhale forward, high plank. Drop knees. Sink down, toes under, tucked under, child's pose. Without shifting the gaze forward or the shoulders up, simply lift the belly to lift the hips. Keep that tone in the transverse abdominals. As you come toward the plank, drop, sit down. One more, lift the hips and heel. And come forward to high plank, and exhale, drop down. So good, sitting back, take a peek, and now let's try to work into that some of the play of, or the value of this contraction pattern. So as we take the right leg back, inhale, and knee to nose, exhale. And then glide the leg back, set the right toes down on the ground for a second. And if you haven't done it before, you can take a peek. I'm going to then scooch, it's an official Sanskrit word, the right toes over to the left. And I take a peek over my left shoulder to maybe see them. So I'm going to contract the left rib cage to do this. And then keep a little of that attenuation in the left rib cage. Move the toes back directly behind you and press with the palms to get the right heel down. So you're looking down at your left shin. You're still contracting out of the left ribs. Bring that right arm up to the sky. And the pose is being opened and held from the dark side, from the underside. Advanced students, of course, can just lift the back leg. But the tone between your left armpit and hip. Okay? So let's try the other side. Left leg back and knee and nose. And then set the left toe mound down. And just scooch the left leg over to the right. Move your right shoulder. And just more importantly, how do you do that? How do you get there? Can you swim like a fish, like we did on our back? Pull the right rib cage, muscles to the right rib cage, over. Now you're keeping that tone as you square off. Take the toe mound just behind you. Push your hands into the floor to get the left heel down, like warrior one, except you're on the front shift. And now, keeping the right ribs toned, we start to come up to our side angle variation. So it's all this, and that could pull me right into this pose. It's all being held from the, not all, but the primary action we're using. You can play, do whatever you want to do here. Good. So let's come back, take a child's pose. And then move on. So let's try some standing poses with these actions. And take our downward dog. Let's walk our feet halfway toward our hands and take them wide. So you can bend your knees and sit down like a frog for a second if you want to watch. And what I'm going to do is use this, remember how we're threading the needle? Can I thread the right arm to the left ankle? Take a peek under the left armpit, and then down like a frog. And then I'm going to wrap the right. Left hand wraps right. Frog. Grab. You grab the knee. So it's an inhale, active pattern. And that's it. We're out. Walk our hands back to our feet, forward fold. Slowly come up with a rounded spine and stand. And then step to the front of your mat. So let's try a little bit of this technology in normal yoga poses. Inhale, chair, and exhale, fold. Right foot back, warrior one. Reach. And then bring the palms together. So we did this, I think, last week briefly. The days are blending together like melted butter. So if our goal is to do lateral work, how do we get there? How do we attenuate? So let's play with it and lift the chest, inhale, and just start to rotate to the right. You're going to take your left elbow across. Maybe some of you can even come down and tap. Right elbow. And now let's open to warrior two. But we already have this notion of a little bit of a wrap here. So if we even do what we did on the ground a little bit, and we grab our left wrist, and remember we threw the discus, and we spilled the knees to the right. Is it making sense? And we use the right rib cage, and now you're pulling. Oh boy, can you sink in deeper? Can you keep this attenuation? Maybe now let's put the right arm down on the right knee, and now we have a yoga pose. But a lot of it's being held under here so that people that used to do dance, Horton, they used to have to do this crazy thing called Horton, right? We'll put the hand down, but it's all being held in here. I reach up, straighten the front leg. Do the same. Contraction under here. Take the right hand down to where it's pleasant, where you can feel the arm is there as a kickstand. It could be on the floor, it could be on a chair, shin, and I a wrap. Remember this whole threading the needle business? And then I can fly. Oh. Might as well stay here for 20 minutes. But you could take the left hand to the hip and go one step further. Look to the front foot and the front knee. Off the back foot in a little bit. Right hand in front of, into the outside right foot. Come up and lift the back leg, Ardha Chandrasana. Before you even try to look up, wrap those right ribs. And then start to spiral as you push into the floor with the right heel. So again, same action as holding all these poses. And then wherever you are, feet together, forward fold, release. Then the knees come off the chair, and then standing. I'm going to switch sides so we don't lose you. Single action, multi-use. And it really brings your focus into the form by just focusing one place. Chair and fold, right foot back, heel in warrior one. Palms to heart, sink into it. So all we're doing is taking an elbow cross. Contracting. So experienced students are already saying, well, that's babyish. I could just do this. But in a way, if you get there, then you lose, or it's easy to lose the action. As we open out to warrior two, setting the back foot to 90, we have a little bit of sense of what's going on. And remember, we start on our backs and we move the knees over through the discus, grab the right wrist. And then I'm on a tether, lean, but it's here. Rotating, I can drop the left arm down, and I'm being held. Wherever I want to go with this, I want to take the upper body reverse. I'm not losing the attenuation, which actually allows relaxation. Come up and take Trikonasana. Wrapping, and then opening. So you're safe. And breathe into it, taste it. Active spiral. So students that are at least intermediate, right hand to hip, look down, bend the front knee, and hop the back foot in a little bit. The left hand's in front of just the outside of the front foot. Look down to start. Just float the right leg up a little, not too much, it'll spill you over. And then scoop or attenuate, contract on the inhale, the left ribs. And let that rolling, spiraling, maybe allow you to look right, come up. And then push down through the left heel. Stay there forever. We'll come down to forward fold. Take the toes out like a duck. Sit down, Balasana. And let's let the low back have a little respite. So we're going to be moving toward parighasana gate pose. But let's prep it a little bit and come down onto our shins. You could be this way on the mat or otherwise. Come up. And you're just going to slide your left foot out like so. And then turn the toes toward you. There's different ways to do it. Get the toes up or planted. It's a little more stable to have the left toes planted, like a half Brasarita. And then let's see if we can just fold down here for a second. And then can you walk the hands over a little bit to the left, like you're gonna drop into this stretch. And then maybe a little further toward that left foot. And come back up to where we started. So that's one of the actions in the pose, but the other is our old friend, the active contraction of the side ribs we want to go to. Let's contract here and see. The hand should push into the knee, the lower hand. Let's just see where you can go. Contract, contract. And again, it's a lateral spiral. We do the other side for a second and just state ski over or set it up. No one's watching how you get there. Right leg out, drop down, crawl the hands over to the right, and then maybe toward the foot. Somebody can touch your head, your shin. Go easy. Walk back up. So how did that work? Well, we contracted the right ribs. And we're not forcing the body, right? We're not trying to game the system of the body. We're listening with. So I've got stuff on my left side. So this for me is like, okay, be patient, but don't just wrench the body down. Good. Let's try side one again. Then we'll move to the real thing. But this time we'll take, if you can, the left toes up to the sky. So beginners, you're just gonna come down and you can slide into it by contracting the left ribs. In fact, everyone's a beginner today. And let's try the other side. Inhale, contract. And then release into it. Inhale, contract. Release into it. Inhale, contract. Feet together. Sit back. Cross your ankles. Stretch your legs out into Upavishta Konasana. So take the legs, both of them out wide. And if this is uncomfortable for you, you're falling back, sit on your towel. Can you slide your hands, backs your hands under your knee creases, point your toes to the sky. And yes, you're going to contract the quads, but a little bit to protect the innocent. Remember, we started this session with the towel roll under the upper hammies. So I'd like you to have a little, that seems counterintuitive, contraction of the upper hamstrings. And in fact, some of you, if you wanted to, could have that towel roll right there. And it might feel pretty good. As you come down to forearms, wherever you want to go, some people who are cursed with flexibility, grabbing the big toes and planting the head. Or in the worst possible case of yoga-itis, the chest to the floor. Why bother? Let's take the knees up and just spiral as we did earlier. Remember, and this time we contract the side we're going to and just start to reach all the way over to the floor in a spiral before we do the final pose of the day. You can spiral all the way down, but can you feel, hopefully this is making sense, the little tuck, little contraction of the ribs. And come up on from the left side. You can bend your right knee a little bit. And this would be a perfect entry to half pigeon for some that don't want to do the final pose, gate pose. And you just, well, oh, Dan, you set me perfectly up. Just kick my right leg out and in. But if you're bored of half pigeon, you can just start to place your left hand on your inner left groin. Take your right hand to your heel and just try to touch your head to your inner left ankle. I'll bring the left forearm inside the sole of the foot. We'll do the one we've done before, super groin opener. So stay in play if you want, or go to the right side, again, learning how to retract, the spiral, and then, oh, I could do half pigeon. That's what my body's calling for. Or you do a variance, which allows you to get the shin that your other yoga teacher told you should be parallel to the front edge of the mat. I never did. And then take your right hand to your right knee, left hand to shin, and just open that right groin. Any variations. This is the anaforest. Super. It's good. So if you want to play in half pigeon, go for it. Otherwise, let's move to our finishing pose before we close off. First, Baddha Konasana. So there's variations on this pose, gate pose, which we've been prepping for. One is we start with just extending the right leg forward in Janu Shirshasana. So watch first. Take a forward fold. And then we're going to rotate and drop into it. So I'm rotating the right ribs under to get there. That would be one variation. I'll talk you through it. The other way, the full way, is to roll right and just take a hurdler stretch with the left knee back like so. Now we can all, regardless of which position we've chosen, rotate to the left. And how we've been doing our rotations, wrap those right ribs. Then drop into it. And maybe you have a strap or your towel waiting for you here, front leg. But it's the wrap, and then the release. Same thing, remember side angle, all that business. Can we try the other side? So from Baddha, we slide the left leg forward, set the right foot into the inner shin, and you can do this from a Janu Shirshasana, first folding, and then rotating. Or you can kick the right foot back into hurdlers. So I'll rotate and just actively inhale, rotate, collapse or contract rather, left ribs. Then exhale, tether down. Shoulder goes ideally inside the knee. And from that contraction, the upper ribs can play. All sorts of variations. This is my favorite. But I got yelled at in a younger class for inventing something new. God forbid. And then come up and let's lay down in Shavasana or take inversions before we close. So, standard that I would recommend today is the Viparita Karate. Re-grabbing your towel roll, maybe making it a little thicker, lifting your hips, and putting the towel under the sacrum to slide the legs up to the sky. We've also done this with legs up the wall. And just allow the sacrum to find the towel roll. Even out the hips. Or simply have a supported bridge pose. Since we've done some asymmetry, see if you can feel more evenness now between the armpits and the outer hips. Let the hips release the towel roll, glide the legs long, take Shavasana for, several breaths, releasing the body from duty, from active duty. As I said before, since the class is only an hour, you can spend, if you have the luxury of time, another 10 minutes in Shavasana, if you can, unwinding. But for now, bend your knees. If you're closing, roll to the side, come up to seated, and we'll wrap up our Monday. Feel the two sides. And these lateral ladders, sides of the ladder of the body, are important to keep strong. Palms to heart. Namaste.